Let's see who we have here. Wonderful. In the meanwhile, just saying my hellos to everyone and waiting for the YouTube to go live. There we go. We are live. Okay. All right, everybody. So lots and lots of love to all of you, people who are still joining. Thank you so much for being here. And so today, the topic being a discussion on karma again. Karma has come into our topic several times over and over. Just a second, let me first put everybody else on mute. All the people who want to talk to me will be able to do so in some time, but right now putting them on mute. Okay, so there we go. So today's topic, karma, and it keeps coming up. It keeps coming up each time. The smallest of things that we do, the biggest of things that we do. What is karma? This is a topic that confuses many of us. I've talked about it before. I always go with this one line: action is not important. It's the emotion underlying that is. And we still continue to take actions. And I find so many people sitting in doubt. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Is this going to be good for me? Is this not going to be good for me? Should I do anything at all? Should I not do anything at all? And so all of these questions are constantly, coming to us every single day. But today, the particular topic came on, especially because, I experienced another layer that came off for me. And this is what happens as my life progresses and I keep discovering a deeper layer, a deeper layer. Constantly I'm saying action is not important. And yet, are there any programs within us that point towards action is important? Are there any programs which we hold, which we haven't looked at right now, which we are yet to shed, which say, oh my God, no, I cannot do this action because this action will have its consequences because action is important. So today, even before we start off, I simply want you to take a look at the kind of programs, the beliefs that you might have about karma. About action. Karma is simply action. Translated to English, karma is simply action. So what kind of programs that you might have about karma, about action, simply, sit down today and take a deeper look at what you think about action. If I don't take on the correct action, it has consequences. If I take action, then only will I get the fruit of something. If I don't take action, how will things happen? These are all kinds of, systems and beliefs that we sit into. Karma bites back. Oh, this is the one that actually caught my attention. Karma bites back. I've constantly been talking about, how karma is not important and we can shed the karma. But this particular one caught my attention just last week, that I am still holding parts of this program that somewhere, sooner or later, karma might bite back. And, let me go into a little bit more detail of how I came to this awareness that I'm still holding this program. And I discuss all of these things with you just because when I talk about my journey, I know that many of you will resonate with any of these lines that I just spoke. And then you will be able to take a deeper look at those today and to be able to shed one more layer of your programs that are not serving you. Mind you, we have programs that are serving us and programs that are not serving us. And the only thing that we can do with awareness is looking at every system, every belief, every program that we hold and see for ourselves what frequency is that program from. What frequency is that belief from? And is that belief actually working in our favor? Or is it not working in our favor? And so this is what played out in my household. A few days ago, one of my, Sudhanshu's friends. He came over to stay with us for just a very, very short bit. This fellow, over the last, 3 or 4 years, has been really, really suffering. Earlier, he was doing extensively well. He was from IIT, that's where Sudhanshu and he became friends. And then, very, very successful. And then while he was going on being more and more successful, he was treating his people, whether it was his friends or it was somebody else, he was treating them more and more shabbily. His own relatives, his brothers and sisters, he was doing things for them, but from this place of, I am doing this stuff for you. I am doing it for you. And in that process, he treated many people very, very shabbily. Fast forward to last 3 or 4 years, he's run out of all his money. He's lost heavily in business, whatever he was holding. And then on top of that, he is right now in a space of onset of Parkinson's or some such disease like that, which is going to progressively make you feel weaker and, make you feel worse than the previous day. He's in the middle of all of that. And right now, there is not much that people want to have to do with him. There's not many people who want to associate with him. And it's really strange that many of the people that he treated shabbily amongst his friends, those are the ones, not Sudhanshu. Sudhanshu continues to be a good friend of his, but many people who he didn't treat well are actually the ones who are coming forward to take a look at his plight right now and help him settle down, help him find a place, help him look for assisted living, etc., etc. But they are the ones who are helping him. When Sudhanshu was telling me this, my mind was just running to, oh my God, this is what he did to people. And this is karma biting right back. This is what he did to people. And then, this had to happen. This is karma biting back. So I said this line once, I said it out once, and I said, oh my God, I was talking to Sudhanshu and I said, oh my God, this is karma biting back. Like, like whatever he did to others, he is getting to see it and he's getting to live in it and he's getting to experience that. And the second line that came out of my mouth was, oh my God, I need to look within. Oh my God, I need to look within because karma bites back. Whatever it is doing for somebody else, what energies they're coming from, what their experiences are, I don't know. But this program that karma bites back is what came out of my mouth. And it was just showing to me that at some place, somewhere, I still believe that whatever action you took, well, of course, I understand that what action you took came from a certain energy. That energy was of not recognizing the Shiva in another. Because when you say, oh, I'm so huge and I'm so big and I'm the one who's helping you and I'm the one who's changing your life, etc., you have now gotten too engaged in the role itself. You have gotten too engaged in understanding that you are the powerful one, but in that moment, you tend to forget that the other is Shiva too. And that other doesn't have to come back to show you that he is Shiva. Somebody else, some other point in time, you will get to see that somebody else is Shiva too. That person, another person, whatever the story plays out to be, it's not about who the actors are in that moment, but when you only sit in the place of I am Shiva or I am the powerful one, and you look down upon others in contempt or in separation, then at some point in time or another, somebody is going to do the same back to you because the experience is 360 degrees. And many a times, that something that happened was in another life, and we don't even get to see what happened, where it happened, but we are carrying the energetic imprint, and our energy field is not born today. Our energy field carries many of those impressions, and it's out there giving us 360 degrees of experience. So the experiences that we receive sometimes are of complete powerlessness. And then maybe in another life, we experience the energies of complete powerfulness. But in that moment, because the eyes are only looking outside, we forget We forget that this is simply a play, this is a role, it's a carryover. The energy is simply completing its experiences over and over again. When we forget, the experience remains incomplete. We are looking outside, and the energy field will keep churning out stories, which will keep giving us both sides, both ends of the experiences, which is what happens. Then, how do we say that the karma is not playing out and that karma doesn't bite back? Why are we saying this? Well, it's one thing to be sitting in unawareness, and then, of course, getting to experience this and getting to experience that. But when you do sit in awareness, you're actually sitting in a place where you're constantly working on looking within. As you look within, you're able to change the energies. You are able to change your energies of separation. You're able to change your energies of, that other one is not Shiva, only I am Shiva. You're able to work through all of that. And at that point in time, there is no karma. There is no action that holds a consequence because you have understood the entire play belongs to the energies. When you've understood that, yet at some place, which is what happened to me, that even though I seem to have understood that the entire work is of the emotion, the entire work is of the energy, but something that told me I have this program, karma bites back. Is it a serving program? Where is it coming from? It's coming from fear of karma. The fear of karma, because many of us, on a daily basis, we're like, oh, bad karma, good karma, bad karma, good karma, bad karma. And we're constantly trying to decide between how to keep doing good karma so that we don't get punished for bad karma. When we look within, we understand that good and bad are simply judgments and they can be released. They can be released. When you begin to release the judgments, whatever is happening through you is not just your energy. You begin to understand it's a play. Somebody has a role, you have a role. Somebody has a part to play, you have a part to play. In that space, what can you do about every action that you take? You can look within to see where your action is coming from. Your action is coming from fear. Your action is coming from anger. Your action is coming from sadness. Where is your action coming from? And then from that place, one of the big ones, is your action coming from mistrust? Mistrust, because mistrust is such a rampant frequency in our lives, we don't even recognize mistrust for it. When we look at mistrust, we are like, yeah, but this is normal. That person got cheated. I got cheated. There are thieves all over. There are thieves everywhere. Just recently, there has been this big big news in Mumbai, and I got to hear it as well. And that is that somebody, a film star, has been stabbed in his own home several number of times. I'm sure that you've all heard the story. What has happened immediately in Mumbai, and especially places where some of the other film stars live, for example, in this building where I live, oh my God, the security has gone bonkers. The action that people are taking is to tighten the security even more, even more. Where is that action coming from? That frequency is fear. And so I'm looking at it and I'm laughing because, fear will only create more fear in you. And that's how the energy works. And so to be able to look at this fear and to release it, saying, when it's time to go, somebody will take you along. When it's time to stay, even if somebody wants you to go, they can't take you along. And that's how life, death, and everything in between work out as per your energy field. All of these experiences, even such experiences of heightened mistrust, are happening from whose energy? From the energy of those involved, from the energies of those who are in that story. When you look at a story, what does that story create in you? That's your energy. That's your program. That's your belief system. Your belief system that I'm safe nowhere. Oh my God, I'm not even safe in my own house. How will I even protect myself? This is a non-serving program. This is a program that constantly leads you towards mistrust. It leads you towards fear. So when you begin to become aware of yourself and your beliefs, you're going to break your non-serving beliefs and come a little bit more onto the trusting, the serving sides of the beliefs. The one trusting line that I say for everything, absolutely at all times, is the universe is playing in my favor. So as I looked at that guy, the friend, and then looked at what my first reaction had been, and then immediately, my focus was on what he had done, and now he was suffering. And then immediately I shifted my focus to what must he have done that, look at it, he has friends who are still out there helping him out. How good his karma must have been that even though he has no money, he has nowhere to go, these friends of his from 40 years ago, 40 years ago, that's when they were in IIT. These friends from 40 years ago are still coming together and showing their love towards him. And so, again, what did I just do with this tiny little switch? Instead of looking at a non-serving program, I shifted my eyes towards a serving program, towards a place of kindness. Why? Because there is not him that I am judging. There is a program that I'm holding, and the program needs to break. The program is karma is a bitch, karma bites back. That is the program that I discovered within me in some layers. And so to come to this, understanding that karma is an angel. Karma is not a bitch. Karma is an angel, and it always helps you right back. When my journey had just started, literally like just started, and I was about to do my first workshop, in my first workshop itself, Mani said to me that I have to discuss this thing about karma. What is karma? And I said, oh my God, I have no clue what karma is. My journey was just starting out in 2015. And so this workshop that I held, I had no idea what karma is. And so I said, what do I even explain about karma? What do I understand about karma? I don't know anything about karma. Karma, according to me, is something that we do. We need to do charity because that's good karma, because that's going to play out for us. We are going to, we're going to be taken care of when we take care of someone else. This too is coming from fear itself. If you look at the very underlying layer under this, that I need to take care of someone so that when time arises, somebody else will take care of me. It doesn't come from unconditional love. It very much comes from conditional love. And so conditional love is all tight with conditions, is tight with all of these expectations that you have about the future, and expectations that the future is not going to be kind to you. And so therefore, you need somebody to take care of you. And so you must take care of somebody else today. You must donate today. You must do a good cause today. You must do good karma today. When we sit with bad karma, again, over here too, I have an example. When Mani said to me to give away the house, many of you already know the story that I gave away, this particular house that we had built towards retirement, only because it came in guidance. It came in guidance, give this house away to this one person. And I worked within to understand this guidance. I worked within to release my own judgments towards myself, because the first judgment that came was, who will be so stupid to give away their own house? Yeah, it's not like I have 5 houses. That's the one house that we built for our old age retirement. It's a very, very expensive house. Why would I give it away? Who would do something so stupid? What will Sudhanshu say to me? Because of course the house belongs to him, not so much to me. And how can I ask him for that house? He's going to think I am so stupid. I'm so stupid. I'm such an idiot. What will he think of me? I'm so stupid is already a program that is an unserving program. And so I have thought it, and I have already created this scenario that somebody might utter it to me. How can you be so stupid? Because I have thought it, I have created it. It is in the thought. And so I worked on myself, and I gave that house to that person. That person's name came in guidance. Many people got very, very upset with me. They actually said, this is nonsense what you've just done, because the house went to the husband as well. Of course, it was a husband-wife couple. And the husband had cheated many people from their monies. And the house went to them. And the husband had cheated. So many people were like, what is this now? Money is going to go around and give, prizes and awards to people who are cheats. And I looked at it and, how can you do this? And I said, I'm not doing anything. I simply got guidance. I got the name in it. It's not for me to judge. I don't know what their journey has looked like. I don't know what they are to receive from me, what I have to give to them, what they have to receive from me. I don't know, but money knows. And so without judgment on who is it going to, the only judgment that I had was on myself that, what will people think if I give away this house because I'm living on rent? And what will people say that how can you be so stupid as to give the only house that you were planning to live in at retirement? That was 5 years ago. I have had no such person telling me how stupid of you, only because I worked on this even before taking the action, even before taking the action. The important line over here is I looked at what I was thinking. There are many religions which say action is not just about you doing something, but if you have thought it, it's already done. If you have thought it, if you're angry with someone, it's not just that you have to physically show the anger, but if you have thought of it angrily, then it is already done. The karma has already happened. Look at it from the energy perspective. That's quite true, isn't it? When we talk of 99% energy and only 1% body, and the energy is in anger, and you are experiencing anger, then whoever is in front of you, whether you speak out words of anger or not, they have already received your energy. So karma is not really the action that you take, but the energetic imprint of that action. The energetic imprint of the action. And the most beautiful part about being aware is that we can now change, we can shift that energetic imprint. We can easily do it simply by putting our focus on the opposite. When we tend to think that the universe is not playing in my favor, I got cheated. The world is full of thieves. The world is full of crooks. The world is not a safe place to be. All that I need to do is look at the opposite side of it. Find so many instances within your own life. The minute you change your focus, you're going to be able to find instances in your own life where the world has been so kind, so benevolent, so beautiful, so giving towards you. And so in that moment where your frequency is sitting in lack and in mistrust, you simply have to just shift your focus to show you something else. Shift it to that something else. Put your rose glasses on. I always tell to people, I wear rose-colored glasses, and people say, you can't live life wearing rose-colored glasses. Look at that program itself. You cannot live life wearing rose-colored glasses. And I say, why not? Rose-colored glasses are beautiful. They show me the beautiful part of life. They show me the amazing stories that are already happening, filled with miracles. Then why would I want to see the non-rosy part of life? It's my choice as to what I wish to see, because now I understand wherever I put my eyes on, whatever I see, the universe is going to show me more and more of the same. Whatever programs and beliefs I hold, the universe is going to show me more and more of that. So does it really make sense that I should hold these programs about the world is a bad place to be in, the world is filled with crooks? No, the world is filled with angels. Karma is an angel itself. So when karma is an angel, am I now feeling fear of karma? If I am, then I simply need to release it. Just simply releasing the fear which has come today as this particular program, that karma, we need to be careful about our karma. It might bite back. We don't need to be careful about our karma. Karma is beautiful. Let that be the alternate program that you create for yourself. Karma is beautiful. And I go back to that story that I was just starting out with. I didn't know what karma was all about. And so the first few lines that came to me about karma was, karma happens every day. Let it flow. Don't put your attention on the karma. Karma appears, karma dissolves, karma continues. Karma is not to be focused on. Simply keep moving. Do whatever you wish to do, but not to focus on. When we focus on karma, what do we start to do? We start to judge the karma as good karma, bad karma, good action, bad action. Letting go of those parameters itself of goodness and badness, and simply flowing, not putting the mind into it. See, what happens is many times, for example, if you feel angry, you get angry. And that's perfect. You haven't thought about anger. Later, when you begin to think about anger and you're not yet aware that it's just a frequency, your thoughts of anger might bring you guilt. And that is the second step creation of karma. The first step being anger, the second step being guilt. Then the third, you might judge yourself to be a very bad person just because you're an angry person. So now you're judging yourself to be less than Shiva. But look at it, even Shiva is known to have his tempers and throw his tantrums. So if Shiva can do that, we are definitely, happy to be even sitting in the angry space. When we begin to look at anger and judge ourselves with it, that's when we are putting in the mind space. If we just simply get angry and then we recognize that it's just a frequency and we're able to release that frequency, we haven't gone into what would the other have felt? What do I need to do? How should I make things better? What should I do for the other person? How should I make up for it? None of that stuff. Simply looking within and being able to process only your own emotions with respect to every action that has come through you. Every action that has come through you. Why? Because the actions are created in the energy space, and the body and whatever is happening through the body is simply the 1%, the experiencer of it all. Only the experiences of the 1%. And we put so much of grief into ourselves about what we did right and what we did wrong. The only thing that we need to do is look at the programming that we hold for right and wrong. When we do right, let it go. When we do wrong, let it go. In that space, karma flows, karma happens, karma dissolves. Karma is every day because you cannot control whatever it is that you're going to experience. Life is coming at you full force at all times, and you are not meant to control it. You are simply meant to witness it. So whenever you witness within and find a program that is not serving you, as I found this one, and I said immediately, it was actually just really funny because the awareness is a little bit high. And so the first line that came through, oh my God, karma is simply coming back full circle. And then the second line that came through, oh my God, I need to look at this program that I'm holding, that karma comes back full circle. Because what happens with karma when you're able to change your energy field and come back to peace? That's it. It's finished. That energy is no longer with us. That energy, that karma doesn't hold anymore. And that's why we've heard it so many different times. Don't care for the fruit. Just simply keep doing your job, whatever your job is. Don't even judge your job, because the job might be that you have to cut a few goats every single day. That might be part of your job. Job might be that you have to, I don't know, do something which you think is not a good thing, which you think is a sin. But then simply to understand that sin and not sin are simply judgments that you are holding. And letting go of those judgments brings you to a place of deeper love just for the self. Only for the self. That's always our last line for anything, because the love for the self has to be completely unconditional. Irrespective of the job, irrespective of the karma, the love for the self is unconditional. No matter who you are, no matter who you have been all your life, you might have been a villain to 400 people. But when you sit in today, ready to look at your karma, ready to look at, there is no repentance that is needed. There is no forgiveness that is needed. The only thing that is needed by you, for you, to love yourself a little bit more. And these systems, these programs, these beliefs that we hold of judgments actually stop us from loving ourselves unconditionally. So back always to this one thing, loving yourself unconditionally, loving yourself for who you are, loving yourself for who you have been. Let's take a look at anybody on the chats. All right, wonderful. So good to see you. सब रजाई में सो गए क्या? वो भी सकता है. The voice of mine is known to put many people off to sleep. So good to see you, ma'am. Wonderful. All right, then. So here we are. Does anybody have a question to ask about karma? Because with the flow, we will do many things. Some of them we will like, some of them we will not like. On days we might speak the untruth, if you call it the untruth. On days you might cheat someone, and simply through it all, to be able to look at it only as an act. Not as your act, but an act in the flow of life. And letting yourself simply be a witness to all your actions and not sitting in with responsibility towards your actions. Many people, again, question me on this, saying, we are not going to be responsible for whatever we do. That means I can murder somebody and I can get away with it because you say that all that I have to do is to be loving to myself and I can do whatever I want to do. Again, to understand that when you ask a question such as this, you are coming from the frequency of fear. The frequency of fear towards whatever you might do. And then you still might have to suffer, but this woman is saying that you won't have to suffer. But how can it be that I won't suffer? So the fear is what is creating that question itself. At this point, while you sit in fear frequency and I sit in joy frequency, there's a frequency mismatch. So for you to even understand a little bit about this, what is it the first thing that you need to do? Release your fear. That's all, because when you release your fear and you take on the frequency just a little bit more, I take energy from Meenal. Now this communication from energy to energy will make sense to you, because this is the answer coming from the frequency of joy. In the frequency of joy, your answer will be, yeah, you can murder, but why would you? Where is the need to murder when you're sitting in so much joy? And that would be the kind of answer that will come to you when you are sitting in the frequency of joy. But when you are sitting in the frequency of fear and fear towards karma itself, you might not be resonating with what I just said. And it's an easy solution to that, to be able to shift the frequency. As Meenal speaks these words and says, there is no reason for forgiveness, but they have done such bad things to me. I think they need to ask forgiveness from me. Over here, sitting in separation, not understanding that they didn't do it. The script was written by your energies. And if they did something, all they did was follow the dialogues that you wrote, follow the script that you wrote, then who is the one to be asking for forgiveness from whom? You, from your energy. But that's you. Your energy is the whole of you. This experiencer, the body, the 1% is not the whole of you. Your energy that is creating all your experiences, including this one, including bringing you to this particular session and to the place where you find it so easy to look within. It's all created by your energy. So how beautiful your energy is. It created this and it created that. Now that you sit in this powerful place of understanding your own energy, change it. Whatever it is that you feel guilty for, change it. Whatever it is that you feel resentment for, change it. It's so easy to change your energy. We have some questions. Okay. We meet many people due to past life karmic settlements or debts, and sometimes we release past karmas if experiences of this life might be because of that. Here you go. We meet many people due to past life karmic settlements or debts. Our understanding, and I used to belong to the same place, that every person that you meet and then you have to give something to them must be past life karmic settlement, and we have to give it back to them. I understand that, but not necessarily back to them. The experience that happened in a past life held somebody, and the experience that is happening in this life is also holding somebody as an actor outside. I understand this exactly because I have also been shown many, many stories from my past life where I had done something to somebody and now they are here to take it back. It's the karma repaying system happening. When I was in that space, and that is the way that I would understand things, and that is the way answers would make sense to me, that is how the explanations came. That this person you have already done X number of things to, and now you need to repay them back. And it's a very beautiful, easy explanation to bring yourself to peace. So by no means am I rejecting that explanation. I'm actually saying if it brings you peace, absolutely, it's the perfect explanation. I moved a little bit step forward from there, and now I understand that there is no one outside, and there is only me playing out in the universe as every actor. Every actor is simply a reflection of me, which means when I go back to that life, they were still reflections of me only, whatever energy I was holding over there. If in that life I had to hold energies of guilt, then somebody outside would have to play a story and I would have to do something so that I could feel guilty about it later on. And so if my experience is of guilt, if my energy wishes to experience guilt, something of that might have happened in the past life or my past life, even in this life. When I move to this space of that is also me, and this is also me, and in my universe, everybody is simply reflecting my energy back at me. My energy back at me. Now I tend to look at exactly the same story, just a little bit differently. Just a little bit differently. That in a particular life, I created experiences of guilt. And in this particular life, I'm now creating experiences of releasing that guilt. My experiences of the energy field are coming full circle, whether it's that same actor in another body, the bodies are inconsequential because the energies, I can catch hold of anybody in the universe, anybody at all, and bring them in front of me. The minute I bring them in front of me, they are going to become actors to my frequency. For me, they are going to have to reflect what my energy holds. And so if in this particular experience section, I'm choosing to experience the letting go of guilt, somebody will come, I will give to them, and through that, I will let go of a guilt that I might be holding through a story. So now, in this movement forward, I've started to sign out of stories as to who did what, I did what, because everybody is simply an extension of my energy, a reflection of my energy, creating experiences for me, which my energy field holds. But am I going to say to you, no, don't do that because no, it totally makes sense. Wherever you are in your journey, if understanding karma this way makes sense to you, we did something, they did something, and this time they cheated us and took all of this money, but it must have been that I needed to give something back to them. What do I feel at this understanding? I feel peace. That, okay, fine, the karma story is over, hisab barabar. So when I'm sitting in that space and feeling peace and no longer grudging what somebody has taken from me or what somebody didn't give back to me, then that story brings you peace. Stay with the story. For those people who have now understood that everybody outside is a reflection of you, understand the energy. Energy is creating different experiences at different times. And each of those experiences now can simply be witnessed. Witnessed. What is this experience creating in me? It's creating guilt. Okay, then, letting go of guilt. What am I doing in this very moment? When that religion, and I think it's just Jainism that says that even if you've thought it, it's done. And it's so beautiful. So even if you've thought it, it's done. And now you've released that thought. You've released the frequency underlying that thought. So that karma is done, and not only done, it is also erased. There is no energetic impression that we carry anymore. And so from that space, we now no longer need to be afraid of karma, because actions don't have consequences. Actions do not have consequences. Only the energy that you are creating from is the experience of the energy some more. It's not a consequence. A grief energy simply has to create a grief story outside so that you can experience grief. An irritation story in you has to create irritation on the outside so that irritation can be experienced just a little bit more. So it's not a consequence game. It's just whatever you are holding is going to create a reflection, an event on the outside, reflecting the same energy back at you. And then it becomes so simple. If this is what I'm holding, this is what it is reflecting, let me change what I'm holding. So easy. Let me go into the frequency of abundance if I'm holding lack. Let me go into the frequency of joy if I'm holding sadness. How easy it is to erase those karmic impressions right away as we speak. When you think yourself as superior and others inferior, what I feel is ego, like you talked about then, that is different from this feeling that I am awesome. That also comes from ego, no? Please clear a bit कि दोनों cases में ego ही तो है. How beautiful. पहली बात तो ego से डर क्यों रहे हो? There's an entire section, many different parts of you that I have talked about ego in so many different webinars of mine, that ego is perfect. Ego is part of your identity. When you were a child and you did something well, you wrote A for the first time and you wrote it so well, you ran around to everybody showing them how wonderfully you had written A. Well, A is still 3 lines. Even when you first wrote 1, you ran around and showed it to everybody saying, I wrote 1 today. That one little dandi that you did, I made this today. And what did you feel? You felt pride. That's ego, right? And then how did you feel when you felt that ego, when you felt that pride? Did you feel really bad about telling people about it? No, you actually feel, you feel good, you feel happy, you feel ecstatic at how wonderfully you have progressed. And that feels good to you. So why then worry about ego being a bad thing? Ego is a part of your identity. The part that I'm talking about when I am awesome, unconditional love to the self. When you go around telling people, look, I am awesome, you don't understand it, but I am awesome. In that moment, you haven't understood what the I am awesome exercise is all about. The I am awesome exercise is to yourself, looking into the mirror, talking to yourself, saying, I am awesome. Outside, when you go and say, I'm awesome, are you saying it with you are too? Or are you saying it with no, only I am awesome? If you are only saying I am awesome for yourself and haven't understood that each one comes from that same perspective, from the same energy of awesomeness, each one is part of the source. If you haven't understood that, then definitely you are coming from half the coin. You're coming from half the coin. You haven't accepted the whole of you. The whole of you belongs in this place, actually. I am awesome. And I'm even awesome when I'm not so awesome. I'm constantly awesome. This is the place where you understand that at times you will be not so awesome. At times you will be awesome. But through it all, if the only thing that you have to do is create a belief in yourself, create a serving belief. Create a belief that you are indeed awesome. What is the belief we normally create? Oh, bloody hell, I'm so stupid. I'm such an idiot. I could have done this better. I'm lacking this. I wish I had that skill. I don't have that. You're always coming from these places. Yeah. Are these programs of lack serving us? I would say no. They're not serving us. The program that serves us better is I am awesome. Through my bad days and good days. I haven't said that, when you go through a bad day, you have to convince another that you are awesome. There is no convincing on the outside. This is to give conditional love to yourself or unconditional love to yourself. That you have to decide. When you say to yourself, looking into your own eyes, saying, I am awesome, do you believe in it that you are indeed awesome? Then you will understand that on any day, there might be two different roles to play. But through those roles, through the roles of being the crappiest person on earth, and through the role of being the most amazing, compassionate, kind, beautiful person on earth, through both of those roles, you are indeed Shiva. You are awesome. Shiva doesn't just sit in one place doing benevolent stuff. Shiva sits in a place where on days he's benevolent, on days he does nonsense. And it's amazing because through all of that, he remains Shiva. And we love that Shiva. Why? Because Shiva is awesome. Through every story of his, good story, silly story, ugly story, bad story, stupid story, Shiva remains Shiva. And that is what is the meaning of I am awesome. It's not to convince others. It's to speak to yourself kindly that I am indeed awesome. And from that space, when you begin to love yourself unconditionally, you will also understand that each one outside is simply a mirror to you. The mirror is equally awesome. The mirror is just a mirror, equally awesome. Taking a dip in Mahakumbh also is said to be releasing the past karma. Yeah, I'm not heading there. I'm just going to sit right here and say, karma dissolved. Right now, in this moment, karma dissolved. It seems to be the easier way for me. So that's what I do. If going to Mahakumbh seems the easy way for you, that's what you do. You do whatever gives you joy. For me, the joy is right now just sitting, because you can go to Mahakumbh and release all your past karma. And guess what is going to happen the next moment? Let's say the slate is completely empty. Once the slate is empty and you come out from the dip, are you completely empty now? Are you going to stay empty now? No, the bath is every day. Are you going to be present at Mahakumbh every day so as to be able to release your past karmas all the times? No, you can't be there, because the action of just taking a dip in the Mahakumbh is simply an action. The next minute, you're again going to be back to emotions. And therefore, if emotions are what are, consisting of your karmas, emotions don't stop. Your actions don't stop. So you will keep now waiting for the next karma to happen, or rather the next kumbh to happen, to be able to shed some more of whatever your past karmas are. Whereas what we are talking about is, as soon as you're able to look into the energy field, and as soon as you're able to recognize it, witness it, and you're able to release it, that itself is the dissolving of karma. That is the path that you can do, the Mahakumbh every day that you can do. If I have done anything wrong with someone and I have understood my mistake, but the other person is not in the state to accept my apology, what should I do about this guilt? What should I do about this guilt? All right. आरती उतारो उसकी. What should you do about any emotion once you've recognized that emotion, that it's just a frequency? What do you do about just a frequency? That's what you do about this as well. It's just a frequency. Your guilt might be an experience that it was holding. Your energy field was holding guilt. So this experience had to be created on the outside. So you could experience some more of the same, some more of the guilt. And so you did. You did something perceivably wrong. That other person perceivably became angry. The experience that you took from this is guilt. The other person took from it anger. The experience is beautifully matched. for the two of you. One needs to take guilt, the other needs to take anger. The two of you come together and create this experience for yourself. But now that you've become aware, and now that you understand that it's just a frequency, change the frequency, release the frequency of guilt and change the frequency. What if the other person never agrees to it? Well, that's their journey. When they are not forgiving you, I would ask one question, and you know what that question is. The question is, what am I feeling? When they are not forgiving me for this, now what am I feeling? Okay, I'm feeling even more guilty. Fine then. The job is not to go around Lara Lappa with them. The job is to sit and do Lara Lappa with yourself, releasing the guilt. Releasing the guilt. If guilt is your emotion, then that's come to play, then that's the one that you have to release. Constantly looking within and seeing what's the next layer of emotion that's come up. Then you might even become sad. When you've released your guilt and they are still not agreeing to your terms and conditions of loving you back, you might feel sad. Now what's the job on you? To release the sadness. When a child suffers, that then he is holding the energies of past life because his life has not accumulated the energies as yet. Energies don't work like that, my dear. A child suffers. When a child suffers, the question that you will ask yourself is, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? Because the child on day zero, actually not even day zero, while they were still in the womb, they're already energy. They didn't just come into this world because two people had sex for 3 minutes. No, this is way more intelligent than that. They chose this atmosphere. They chose a particular body form. They chose to be born in a very, very in a very intelligent way, because their energy is going to receive all of their experiences in the way that they are going to be born, in the place that they are going to be born, from the actors called parents. From them, they're going to receive their first experiences. And so when a child suffers, whatever you are feeling, you firstly take a look at your energy and release. The child is beautiful, intelligent energy. And they have chosen every experience of theirs. You know, this reminds me of an old story, and most of the people have already heard of this, but for you, this one comes again. Somebody came to me. The child was 8 years old. And they said, ever since the day the child has been born, their brains are fused. The left and the right are fused. And the child doesn't know anything. The child is constantly suffering. And they can't do anything. They can't talk. They can't sit. They can't walk. They can't do anything. And they've just been running from place to pillar to post, just trying to find some solution for this guy. And somebody told him that I do healings. And so she came out to me and said, can you please do some healings for my child? I've heard that your healing works miracles. And I'm sitting in the energy and I'm receiving, saying, there's nothing wrong with the child. And the mother thought I'd lost it. You know, the mother is like, the child has been born. From the day he's been born, he's been deprived of a left and a right brain, cannot function the most easy things, cannot do anything. And you are saying there is nothing wrong with the child. I said, that's what I'm receiving, that there is nothing wrong with the child. What do I mean by there's nothing wrong with the child? When you see that the child is suffering, yeah, which is exactly what she was seeing, that the child is suffering, I said, is the child really unhappy all the time? She says, no, the child doesn't even know what all he's missing out on. So when he doesn't even know, is he suffering? She paused a little. I said, the one who's suffering over here more is you, as the parent running around trying to get him to one school, another special school, something he might learn, something he might not learn. You have to release your worry, because the child has been born with his own energies, and this is the form that he wanted to take to experience his own experiences of the planet Earth. So you have to let go of your worries and anxieties with respect to the child. You are the one who's worried only because when you sit and look at one child who's 8 years old and your child who's 8 years old, you are the one who's sitting in comparison. And that comparison is bringing you to lack. Lack because my child cannot do this. My child does not have this. My child. So this is my child and does not have. So you are sitting in energies of lack. You are sitting in anxiety. You are sitting in all of these energies, not the child. So you have to do work on yourself. I will do healings for you, not for the child. So I did one session of healing for her, but she found something in it. So she started to listen to my webinars on a daily basis, and I have 200 of them. So she was listening to something or the other every day. But as she was doing that, we were already in COVID. So all schools were shut. The child was not going to any school or anything. And she called me up a couple of months later and she said, can you do a program for special children? And I said, why? What happened? I couldn't remember who she was. She says, no, I came to you a few months ago and you did my healing. And I recognize that I'm the one judging and I'm the one who's not, because I told her, I said, you are not enjoying the child for who he is. You're wanting the child to be something else, but you are missing out on this moment of who the child is. And she started to, understand that. And she says, when he speaks a word, I will not move to the next word. I will just stay with that word and enjoy that my child has spoken one word. That's exactly what I was telling her to do. And she came to me a couple of months later and said, the child put three words together, which is something that he had not done in his past 8 years. And the child spoke with full emotion on that. And he's telling his father, Papa, Mummy Gussa. Papa, Mummy Gussa. And those are the 3 words he uttered, but with complete comprehension of what he wanted to say, what he wanted to do. The child is suffering or the child is not suffering. When that thought comes to you, please sit with your own emotion. It's your energy that the child is going to reflect back at you. However, the child is fully energy in the womb itself. The child is a very, very conscious piece of creation that has taken form so that they can experience that energy field of their own. They're not stupid. They are definitely not 1 year old. I tell people, your children are 1 crore and 1 year old. That's how you should look at a child. Who keeps this balance of karma over so many, many, many lives? Oh, I just spoke about it. The answer is energetic imprints. So how does this karma system work? I just explained this whole thing about how the karma system works. It's the energetic field that is carrying impressions from all of the lives that you have already experienced before. The energetic imprint is what you are changing in this particular life. All of this life, whenever an imprint is in the energies, it is going to create more of the experience and then move towards completion of that experience and yet another experience. And this time, when you're able to look at your energy, you're able to actually change your energetic impression and create a life of your own wanting, of your own joyfulness, of your own oneness. When you're able to do that, the earth experiences are pretty much coming to an end. But karma, over so many, many, many lives, you will again put yourself into a body space and not into the energy space. Please think energy. That's the only way that you can get even a short bit of an answer towards anything. If you're going to think of life, and then who's carrying the record, and there's somebody sitting and keeping an accounting, and you have to go and report to that accountant, you are simply stuck in bodies. You haven't moved to the energy space of thinking. I got married to the same guy again. What's that about? I'm not getting to the lesson yet. Okay. I got married to the same guy again. Okay. How does that make you feel? That's all there is to it. How does that make you feel? I'm not getting the lesson as yet. The lesson is actually embedded in this emotion itself. If you are feeling regret, then it's the energy of regret that's creating your experiences. Who's holding that energy of regret? You. If it's the energy of joy that you got married to the same guy again, and how wonderful is that? Then whose energy of joy is it? It's yours. And the lesson is simply the experience. There is nothing called lesson of learning. Learning is a mind game. Learning is a mind game. The experiences that we go through in life, which can only be understood from this question, what am I feeling? What am I feeling about a certain experience? I got married to the same guy, and I'm so stupid that I did that. Okay, then, this judgment that you hold of your own stupidity, and that is making you love yourself less and less. That's the experience that you're getting from this guy. When people come to me and say, who should I marry? This one or that one? I'm looking at 5 different options. This one has that. This one doesn't have that. Who should I marry? And I say, close your eyes and marry anybody. That's how I'm vested in who are you married to again and again. That's my understanding of it, that doesn't matter how many times you marry somebody, it's your energy that's going to play out again and again. So the lesson in this, every single day, that actor is going to be different. Every single day you ask yourself this question, what am I feeling? When he's being loving, what am I feeling? Because it's not he being loving, it's my love being reflected back through him. When he's being irritating, he's not being irritating. It's my irritation being reflected back through him. When he's being angry, or I'm being angry at something that he's doing, he's not doing things to make you angry. It's your anger that's being reflected back through him. It could be any actor. You can take anybody, get married to anybody. The initial 5 days might be lovely. The next 5 days will all be about your own energy. So take a look at your own energy and change that. Karma dissolved, done. Okay. I was an extremely rebellious and naughty child. Now that I have my own, I'm constantly told that karma is waiting. Wonderful. That's exactly the kind of program that I was talking about. So when you're done listening to this, you can go back to the beginning of this webinar and hear it. This time, hear it. Okay? Because I've exactly talked about this, about having belief systems that are not serving us. Yeah? The child has been born to you to get his own experiences. But what is the child reflecting back at you when you look at them as naughty? And are you finding that cute? Then great. Are you finding that loving? Then great. If you're finding that to be a problem, then you need to release your judgments and the work will be done. I've been told. Sorry, I can't hear. Is somebody talking to me?
Because of this, I have taken.
Murli,
No, Murli was on unmute.
Murli is unmuted.
yeah, I saw that, but is Murli talking to me? I don't understand. I didn't understand whether Murli was talking to me. Okay.
Couldn't make out.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Well, it's hard hitting, but here's the fun part. Somebody says, oh, this is hard hitting because I just said to them, oh, you know, the program on karma, is it suiting you? Is that belief system suiting you? It's hard hitting if you think that simply being in a position of a victim is a better place to be. It's hard hitting and easy when you understand that this is all about your own power. This is about our own power and what kind of life are we going to create wherever we are going to look. And that's why I keep telling people, look at everything with rosy glasses. Because wherever you look, however you look, that's what you're going to create more of for yourself. Look at people's problems, you'll be creating more helplessness within you. Look at people's joys and wonderful ingratitude and be in gratitude. You're going to be creating more stories of gratitude for yourself. I used to be the one who would sit in complete, so much anger when the world would choose, let us say, a political person that I really didn't resonate with. And, I thought of that person as a dictator. And I'm sitting in that whole space of how can they choose this as a country's head? Like, aren't they thinking? And now I understand. If I look at that and get agitated and aggravated and anger, Is there something going to be changing about that country or the people or whoever they have chosen? No. But is it going to be changing something about me, my life, my experiences? Absolutely. I'm going to come from more and more anger. I'm going to come from more and more aggravation, because anger is something then that I am collecting in my energy. The minute I know that, I have a choice. Do I wish to continue to stay with that, or do I wish to change it? That's a simple, easy choice. After all, anger is just as much a frequency as joy is. So do I want to sit with the anger frequency, or do I want to sit with joy frequency? Do I want to sit with, oh, everything is wrong with the world, or do I want to sit with, oh, my world is so beautiful? That's my choice. Okay. All right, then let's go into a very, very quick, tiny, tiny little meditation. So take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in and exhale. A deep breath in and exhale. Allowing yourself to be completely at ease. Completely at ease. I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. And in this space of being Meenal, all the answers come to you with so much ease and grace. So in this moment, sitting and evaluating just for a few minutes, going back to those places where you might have some karma that you hold and you're not too happy about it. You're not happy with the way who you were. You're not happy about the way things played out. You're not happy about the karma that happened through you. And so let's look at that space for just a moment. If an old incident comes to mind, then simply be aware of that incident. Be in awareness of that emotion that you are feeling when you think about that old incident. If nothing comes to mind, if you're sitting in peace, if you're sitting in ease and grace in this moment, then simply enjoy. Enjoy this moment. If at any point in time, today, later on, something happens where you begin to question or doubt your karma, this could be the place to come back to. So right now in this moment, looking at karma, the one that made you a little bit uneasy, the one that you don't like, the story that you were a part of, and now you don't like that story, the way it played out, and your role in it. In this moment, the new information that you hold as Meenal, that karma simply dissolves when you can change the frequency. So in this moment, look at the frequency, look at your emotion. Whatever emotion you felt then, whatever emotion you feel when you think about that incident, in this moment, simply release. What I do is find money and I put it at his feet. Whoever you wish to find, simply go there. Put at their feet your karma. Your favorite gods, goddesses, gurus, guides, whoever you wish to find, to surrender your karma to. And when you surrender something, it belongs to you no more. It belongs to them. And they are divine. The one that you worship is divine. And so now this karma that you didn't like has gone to them. and become a part of their divinity. That karma that you once held with judgments galore has now gone to them, been surrendered to them, become a part of their divinity. When someone holds divine energies, when someone holds love, everything, every emotion is transformed to love. And so your karma has gotten transformed to love in this very moment. No longer heavy on your shoulders, it sits with them lightly. And you watch them, your favorite gods, gurus, you watch them as they take their hand out, and on their hand sits a beautiful butterfly. It's a beautiful butterfly with amazingly beautiful colors. Just look at the colors. They're shining bright, and that butterfly is sitting on their hand. And from their hand, the butterfly moves its wings and comes and sits on your head. It sits on your head, and you can feel this divine presence, the hand on your head. The hand on your head in this moment. The hand of the divine, the love of the divine in the form of this butterfly from your guru, from your guide, from money, from anybody that you so hold dear as divine. Whatever name you put to it, there is no separation. They're all the same. And in this moment, this divine hand is sitting as a butterfly on your head. And as you experience this beautiful energy flowing from the butterfly to you, through the head, and then flowing directly to you and into your heart. This beautiful light, this beautiful ray of light coming from them to you, their divinity flowing to you. That divine butterfly, the energy that it carries, what energy is that? It's the transformed energy of that karma that you had surrendered. It has now come back to you as love. And so, whatever karma it is that you hold, whatever karma that you do, whatever karma that you're afraid of in this moment, all transformed to love, to divine, and now flowing right back to you and into your heart. This is the moment of the dissolving of your karma. This is the moment of knowing that every karma of yours is divine. You are divine. Your karma is divine. No matter what energy you hold, you can always surrender it, and it becomes divine. Through that action, that emotion, it becomes divine. And so the only karma that you need to be aware of is surrender. Surrendering everything, every emotion, every heavy emotion, every light emotion. Surrendering it all to the divine and receiving it back as your own divinity. And with this playful lightness in the heart, of the heart, knowing that every karma is simply a flow, Every karma is from you a divine space. Sitting in this knowing today and any other time that you need to come back to this space when you are judging your karma, just simply come back to this knowing you are a part of the divine. And as you surrender, every karma of yours is divine. Om Mani, Om Mani, Om Mani. All right, everyone. Lots and lots of love to all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Lots of
Thank you, Muni.
lovely.
All the butterfly birds. Such a divine meditation.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Lots
So
of
many.
love. Bye, everybody.